Yo, listen to this. This how we do. It's the throwback mix. Check it. Forgive me, I'm a loose cannon. Diablo on the cop scanners. She gave me loving cause my nice manners. Yeah, making moves like a city planner. Forgive me, I'm a loose cannon. Take a picture, try to keep it candid. Me and my mans, we was all bandits. Keep it fresh, yeah, we never ransom. Yeah, loosen up, I've been too tight. Hold me, mama, make it alright. It's in my nature, the perfect picture. Total fractals, just like an apple. It's magical, quoting the book of Matthew. Sorry, I've been too busy eating cashews. I laugh at you, I cry at you. I traumatize you, I harmonize you. But I never will despise you. I'm maniacal. They always said my raps were undeniable. Write 'em with a pencil that's mechanical. We chillin' down on Rosecrans Avenue.
What up, Beaches? Yo, 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 yo. What up?
Give me bubbly in my cup. You best fill it up. I'm moving heavyweight like a pickup truck.
Make under the ticket. Sick of fucking games.
You know that I don't like you anymore. I know that I've been spiteful in the wrong. But I know that I was lied to by you before. You know that I don't like you. Forgive me, I'm a loose cannon. Diablo on the cop scanners. She gave me loving cause my nice manners. Yeah, making moves like a city planner. Forgive me, I'm a loose cannon. Take a picture, try to keep it candid. Me and my mans, we was all bandits. Keep it fresh.
Nice, Tyrone. I love it. Isn't it amazing, man? Shit, time flies. Make a chickens on a blow shot. We're coming up on it. Episode 1000. You know that I make sick fucking games. You know that I like to make sick fucking games. Sick games.
But I know that I was lied to by you before.
Banana.
You know that I don't like you.
Boom.
Forgive me, I'm a loose cannon.
All right.
Diablo on the cop scanner.
Sunday Funday Q&A. So we got a lot of questions to go through. I will try to get through as many as I can. Got a lot today. We'll go through as many as possible. Let's do it. Fitness without the bullshit.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, test, equals. Welcome everyone to episode 996 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on, ya beaches? What's up, boosh? What's going on, fam-wise gamegee? What's the good word? What is the latest, the greatest? Obviously, it's Papa Swolio on 996. That's obviously the latest and the greatest. What a silly fucking question. Of course, this is the bee's knees. This is the nits tits. We are going to go balls deep, taint hunting on 996. So this is a great opportunity to ask your questions. However, those of you that follow me on the social medias, which is all of you, obvi, you need to submit your questions ahead of time. So those are going to get priority. I got a lot of questions on Instagram and on Facebook on the latest post. So we do this every week. Those of you that are new to the podcast, I post and I say, Sunday Funday Q&A, post your questions below. And then I go through as many as I can. And lately, of course, we're here for a while. Sometimes I go through all of them. Of course, it's going to get to the point where I can't go through all of them every day. I have to pick through the best ones. So make sure that you get in early. Make sure that you post up as soon as you see that thread go live, usually on a Saturday. That way you can get your question guaranteed to be answered. And you could also drop it in live. So if you have questions live, that's cool too. And who knows, maybe it will shift only to live questions eventually. I'll just try to get to as many as possible. So the bottom line is the sooner that you ask those questions when you see the post, because I go from the first submissions and I start looking at those first when we go over the questions. So make sure that you get there as soon as possible. So this is exciting. I'm looking forward to today's episode. A lot of good questions. Just make sure also when you submit those questions that you try to keep it short and to the point. Make it specific, make it direct. But if it's a huge long paragraph, I can't read that live and I'm not going to be able to go through it and analyze it and break it all down. So I might even skip it if you write too much. So keep that in mind. What are you pumping today? First off, what are you pumping today? Where are you watching the Swole from? Drop a couple emojis showing what you're doing right now. If you're pooping, drop some poop emojis. If you're pumping, drop a couple biceps. If you're just being a sick fucking mad gorilla, drop some gorillas. Drop it. What up, IG? What's going on? So for those of you that are new, we stream live daily whenever possible on all platforms. This is on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. You can subscribe to the podcast anywhere, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, all those places. And remember, Papa Swole's got two podcasts. You got the Daily Swole podcast and also have the Swolenormous audio experience. So you get some behind the scenes and real raw audio footage. I highly recommend you subscribe to both. Driving on the freeway. What are you fucking watching live texting? Don't be messaging while you're driving on the freeway, you psychopathic motherfucker. Be safe. I don't want any deaths. I don't want death by Swole. I don't want them coming over the jaws of life and you hear the fucking Papa Swole raging and ranting and No, come on. Be safe, people. Let's go. Be smart. Make those gains. You gotta stay healthy, man. Just make those gains. What up, dog? What up, food prepping, yoga, Louisiana in the house? Yes, episode 1000 is coming. It sure is. Today is 996, so that's going to be Thursday. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff this week. I say that, but who knows? Things are going to get really out of control. I'm going to lose track of everything and probably you'll be like, holy shit, today's 1000. I got a lot of stuff to do. It's Swolenormous X. We have major releases, so I'm working on a bunch of updates for new content for Swolenormous X members. There's a lot going on. So as much as I want episode 1000 to be special, and it will be, we'll see. It'll probably be another episode. We'll have some fun. But knowing me, I'm just like, it's another day. Let me just fucking lay it down. Let's move on. It's just going to be fun to start seeing the number 1000. There's only a couple major landmarks that were exciting. Episode 100 was really cool. And then episode 2 or 300. I think 300 was really cool because of the movie 300. I remember that sticks out just because I did a cool thumbnail. I put my head on Leonidas' body. And after that, it just kind of, every 100, it was, oh, cool. It's a new number. But this is the only one the last 500-600 episodes where it's been like, whoa, really noticeable. It's just something, it just stands out, obviously, for obvious reasons. But super cool, and I'm glad you all are here. Let's jump into it. That's enough fucking talking. Shut the fuck up, Papa Swole. Got my coffee here. You ready? Who here is ready for some Q&A? Who's here ready for some Q&A? Q&A? You ready? Come on, drop some biceps. Let me know. Are you ready? We're not going to start until you're ready. Okay, you're ready. Drop some biceps if you're ready for some Q&A. Here we go. Let's see. First question. I've had 7 kids. What exercise can I do to rebuild my pelvic floor? What can I do to help my tits a little perky again? Well, tits are glands. I mean, you're going to have to work out like everyone else. There's no magical breast lift exercise. You can work the chest around it and the shoulders, and eating healthy will help, get rid of extra body fat, will help, pull things and tighten things. But, the mammary glands, breasticles, chesticles, that's extra body fat. That's why when people, have hormonal changes, or they get really into fitness and their boobs get smaller, they get bigger, they start hanging more. It's just extra skin, it's extra glands. Can you make your breasts more perky by exercise and eating healthy? Possibly, but it's not really how that whole thing works. A lot of times posture makes the biggest difference when you're looking at people's physique. Most people slouch. Most people are internally rotate with their shoulders. When you pull your shoulders back, when you get that external rotation and you get that scapular retraction, it makes you look more powerful. So make sure you're standing up tall, pulling your shoulders back, working on those postural exercises will help improve your overall image, because looking all internally rotated and slouchy makes you look tiny, small, and of course it'll make your boobs kind of hang down weird a little bit. In terms of your pelvic floor, those Kegels, planks, hip bridges, all those glute activation exercises, there's really no magic behind it. You literally need to work those muscles. I think 7 kids is enough. I think you're done, by the way, in terms of that. But yeah, all those intrinsic muscles, all those transverse abdominis, sucking your stomach, doing planks, doing those drawing maneuvers, the vacuums, practicing yoga, Kegels, all those different exercises, balance exercise, all those exercises that stimulate the pelvis are beneficial. Thoreau 16, how do you feel about red light therapy? I'm sure it's probably a good thing. How do I feel about it? I don't really care one way or the other. Is it beneficial? Probably. I don't think there's any evidence that it hurts people. I'm not involved with it directly. I don't do it regularly. I haven't purchased any of those units because they're kind of expensive. But I believe in all that stuff. I believe in all that stuff, the efficacy and how much it actually works and how much of a difference you'll notice. I believe it. I mean, at night, I put on candles. I turn off the blue light. I get rid of LEDs. And it's very, very soothing. I always have my night screen on. I always have like the yellowish orange night shift on my phone 24/7. I don't like looking at blue screens because I'm staring at this shit all fucking day. So if you are cutting out blue light, that's more important, I would say, than going right to like, oh, I need red light therapy. You need to cut out blue light. When the sun goes down, you need to stop staring at fucking blue screens, change your TV, change your phone, stop watching TV and being exposed to fluorescent LED lights late at night before sleep, because it will improve the quality of your sleep. And we've talked the last few days about length of sleep and also the quality. It's a big difference. It's not just how long you're in bed for, it's what you're doing while you're in bed. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's not just the length of your sleep, it's how quality that sleep is. Are you waking up regularly, or are you sleeping throughout the night? All that kind of stuff. You got your desk, looks like you're standing. No. Oh, actually, I got the desk, but it came damaged. And I emailed them a couple days ago and they haven't responded yet. So I'm pretty fucking livid. That's a conversation for another time. But so far, I'm not happy at all with the quality and the details. Yeah. Not happy with the purchase yet. Not happy with the customer service yet. So we'll see how that turns out. I want to give them the chance to respond and to make it right. So yeah, that's a sensitive issue. That's why all the boxes are behind me, because I can't fucking put it together when it's fucking broken. So I'm pissed about that. John Castantin. Let's see here. What would you recommend for a college athlete more than anything else to increase muscle strength and overall speed? Eat healthy and train appropriately. I'm sure you got a good coach. I'm sure you have someone who's guiding you through the proper training. That's very vague. I don't know what strength and overall speed means. Speed for what? Strength for what? I don't know what kind of athletics you're doing. So in terms of what would I recommend? I'm just going to say yoga. Most people aren't going to say, wow, yoga for muscle strength and speed. But because I don't know any details, you're going to have to focus on mobility. I would add mobility to your routine, and then partner and pair that up with whatever you're doing for your sport and whatever you're doing with your strength coach for your specific sport, because every sport and every activity is going to be unique in how you're going to train. Pere Stables. In all honesty, coming from someone with health issues, long paragraph, let me try to cut this. I have joint issues. I'm totally not broken. If I do something not too hardcore, it could knock me out for a week. I'm trying not to be the youngest one in the aqua aerobics class, but maybe that's my best option. Yoga? Yeah, I would just say yoga, just to summarize what you're asking and what would be the best answer. If you're not practicing yoga, then fuck yes, yoga. Adan Sisi. Do you think intermittent fasting is good? For some people, it works really well. Sure. Do I think it's good? Sure, why not? Vedita, you tore apart freely. I don't know about that. If I tore her apart, the driving while gaining. What would you say to people who think what? We are frugivores? I don't care. I really don't have anything to say to anyone. If you want to be a vegan, that's fine. As long as you're not, look, I feel the same way about religion. I feel the same way about politics. Stop trying to preach like you have the fucking answer. Stop trying to preach like you're right, everyone else is wrong. Stop trying to be very altruistic. Just fucking do what you want. If you want to just walk around eating veggies, nuts, and fruits, that's not fucking normal. That's not normal at all to not have any kind of animal protein. Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy to believe that human beings are not meant to consume animal products? Are you fucking nuts? I don't understand that logic. I don't understand it. 912 Georgia Girl, best core workouts. There is none. Start practicing yoga if you're not already. La Bamba 87, no questions this Sunday. I just want to thank you for always being attentive to your followers and private members. It shows you really care. Why, thank you. Look at that. Not dropping questions, just dropping some love. Beard trimmed? Not at all. Quite the opposite. Not even close. My beard is nowhere close to being trimmed. I haven't touched it today. It's all poofy. I haven't groomed it at all for weeks. I don't care. I just haven't cared at all about it. Barely put like any kind of oil or brushed it. I just let it do whatever. Blake Porter, I have pain in my left shoulder when I bench or do shoulder exercises. Are there any shoulder workouts that are easier on the shoulders? What can I do to help alleviate the pain? Practice yoga, corrective exercise, work on the posterior rotator cuff, middle and lower trapezius. Stop doing shoulder exercises and bench, especially those that injure and bother your shoulder. That's just only going to make it worse. Soul Slayer 0, does the great Papa Swole ever catch a cold or get sick like a normal human? In all honesty, very, very rarely. Rarely. Maybe once a year I'll get a headache. I rarely get sick. People around me might get strep and this, I'm fine. I really, knock on wood, of course, but I don't get sick. I really don't get sick. And if I do, it's for maybe a day, and that's it. I like to say I don't get sick. I just get less awesome for a day. Dan Dumo, would you ever consider doing yoga at noon and lifting in the evening a safe practice? Yeah, I mean, it's never unsafe to do yoga and training on the same day unless you're fatiguing yourself by doing a power yoga or something like that. That's fine. If you like that, I personally would reverse it. Yoga's great in the morning, but I would prefer to do a strength training before I do yoga because yoga is very restorative. It's very inhibitory. So it's a great recovery from strength training. So I think that's a better swap, but you could do yoga first. That's fine. What is the, Coda Bowers, any tips for protecting your neck while lifting? Breathing, should it be braced against the bench? Well, if you're doing a bench press, it's one of those 5 contact points. You want your head, shoulders, hips, and your feet in contact with the ground or the bench. When it comes to protecting your neck, you should be doing cervical strengthening. You can do retraction exercise and strengthening the muscles on the front inside part under your esophagus, those cervical flexors, because the neck is chronically extended because of upper body improper posture and things of that nature. Mallory Gafford, what is the proper way to foam roll? To roll across the muscle belly, avoid the joints. You want to roll maybe about an inch or so per second, find sensitive areas and hold it for 30 seconds to a minute and then move on. That's a really hard question. What am I just going to answer? I did answer it, but if you can't picture that, I can't just tell you how to do foam rolling. It's something it's better to be demonstrated, but that's the correct way to do it. Hold on a second. And there's different ways to foam roll, to be honest. There's different release techniques. You can actually move the muscle and kind of floss the muscle through different types of foam rolling and pressure positions and things of that nature. Pal98, I've been doing acupuncture for over a month. I've noticed significant improvement in inflammation. With your focus on recovery, have you or would you ever do acupuncture as form of recovery along with your other practices? Probably not. I have no interest in doing that. I've never done it. And a lot of that stuff is very much placebo rather than actual function and reality. I don't see necessarily the true benefits. I think it's kind of like chiropractic. It's some people like it if they feel better. A lot of people don't see results. A lot of people don't get better. A lot of people don't have positive outcomes. And usually people that have great results are the ones that talk about it the most. So it seems like, oh, that's such a great thing. But there's a lot of people that do that kind of stuff and so if you like it, that's fine. Whether it's placebo or not, that's great. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying there's no science behind it because obviously it's a huge ancient practice, but I haven't done it and I don't have any plans on doing it. Why doesn't Papa Swole make more appearances? Because she's doing her thing. She's sleeping. She has to make more appearances on the Daily Swole? I don't know. Never really thought about it. If everyone wants to see more Papa Swolio, then you can drop that in the comments. I didn't know that should she get her own Instagram, Papa Swolio? Maybe it's time for her to get her own Instagram. Ooh, what do you think about that? Should I be one of those people that have a pet Instagram? Med 22. Is there scientific evidence that backs up the anabolic window theory? I don't abide by that anymore. I don't rush home to eat right after a workout. I do eat after I train, but I don't try to be like, oh, it's within half an hour, I need to do that. I've done both, and I don't see any noticeable difference. As long as I'm getting in my calories, I'm getting in my food, I'm consistent with my training, I just adjust how I do my things based on how I feel. So I think you should try to see what is best for you. A lot of people don't have the ability to eat right after they train because their sympathetic nervous system is still firing. They feel nauseous when they eat. So just wait. You know, it's not going to make or break you as long as you're getting in those foods. Gun at 42. You know how you talk about that deep squat you do to loosen your hips? Are you actually sitting on something, or are you just in that deep squat? Deep squat. Just go down. Just make sure your heels are on the ground. If you can, you just go as low as you can. You go as low as you can, keeping your feet flat, driving your knees out so they're in line with your second toe. And you can even use your arms to kind of push on the inside of your thighs to get your knees out. And you just rock back and forth. You can put your heels up on something if you're super tight, but the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Thomas Simmons, how often should you switch up your workouts? Totally depends on what you're doing, depends on your experience, depends on your goals, depends on how often you have the ability to get to the gym, how long you have to get to work out at the gym, the equipment you have available, what kind of training you're doing, so many different things. But usually you can stick with a specific training program for at least 4 to 8 weeks before you need potentially to train, because your body needs time to adapt. Most people change their workouts every day or every week, and that's why they don't get actual progressive results, because they change too much. A lot of people change up their workouts way too often, and that can actually be a deficit and a downside because you don't get any mastery and you don't get some real focused adaptation. Good questions. Mashi, is there an alternative to casein protein for nighttime recovery? I wouldn't consume any kind of like protein supplement before bed. I don't know. I mean, alternative to casein protein? Yeah. I mean, there's any kind of an alternative to casein protein for nighttime recovery. Yeah, it's called sleep. Your body needs to sleep. You don't need to be eating while you're sleeping. That's not necessary. I wouldn't be sucking down any kind of like, oh, this is a nighttime protein, slow release. Fuck that shit. You should be without food. Your body needs to focus on sleep. That's like a bro science thing from back in the day. You don't need to be sucking down protein right before bed. You're not going to be catabolic and breaking down. Fine. That's good. That's what your body should be doing. You're not eating while you're sleeping for a reason. So you don't need to have there's no need for a nighttime protein. So save your money. Eat your meals when you need to eat your meals and focus on, if anything, doing some kind of investing in something that's going to help you sleep better. Not like a supplement, but whether it's eliminating blue light, doing, wearing glasses at night to help cut out blue light, changing your habits, hydrating better. There are things like sometimes magnesium supplements can help with relaxation, with, preventing muscle cramping and things of that nature, fish oil, collagen, there's things like that, but you don't need a protein per se, like in that sense. Do I need to change my workout every 2 weeks? No, you don't. Moto Kid, what do you recommend to increase the size of your traps? Shrugs are good, but I would also recommend getting into deadlifts. Deadlifts will help you big time. What are your opinion on pre-workouts like Cellucor C4 that contain items such as creatine? No, I don't recommend them just because they have their tons of fillers. You can get some natural ones out there that don't have all the fucking stimulants and all the food colorings and things of that nature, or you can do black coffee, espresso, things like that. And sleep. Most people are chronically sleep deprived. So of course you're going to need some kind of like fucking artificial boost to get you jacked up. But if you get really good sleep, you'll find that you really don't need much of a boost to go to the gym. Big time. Sweet potato question. Skin or no skin when cooking in the oven? Skin. I love eating the skin. I recommend eating the skin. Don't eat it if it's burned. You shouldn't be burning and roasting. If it's black and toasted, it's probably not good for you. But definitely the skin I would recommend. I like it. This is a huge long question. I cannot read this, so I'm going to cut right to the end. Oh, you just said thank you? I need to... Okay, yeah, I can't read through this. I don't know what this is like I just got an ebook, but I appreciate the, what is it, Metzler. I appreciate the submission. I just don't have time to read that right now. But thank you for the question. You can always send me a DM or something. I'll try to get to that later, but I might not be able to. That's a really long submission. All right, let's check out on Facebook. And plus, if you got to drop some questions live too, I'll go through some of these. Even I can scroll through a little bit on Facebook now. So drop your questions live too. I just want to get to the people that submitted their questions already. And I'll get to a couple of the live ones. So if you're asking questions live, I see them and I will get to them ASAP. April Johnson, I'm not really looking to get a certification, but I want to learn more about fitness. Are there any courses you would suggest to look into? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm sure there are ones out there, but I don't have like a list of things. Just learn. Like, look, when it comes to knowledge, you don't need necessarily a course. You need the willingness to fucking put your effort in and to Google and to research and to look and to read and to read and to listen and to read and to practice and to listen and to read. It's just the time. So you can, you can Google books, you can read books, you can look up and try different courses, but information's free. You just have to look for it and take the time to put your effort in. So a lot of you tune into the Daily Swole because I'm just spilling out all my personal knowledge and experience. And when it comes to when it comes to a course, usually courses are based around a certification. So the course will prepare you for a certification. Otherwise, there's no need for a course. Oh, we'll teach you about fitness. People don't just want to learn because that can't help you teach in a gym. So a course is usually designed to educate you and lead you to passing a certification. So usually any course that you're going to take is going to lead you towards some type of certification, some type of cert. Let's see. Yeah, and if you take a certification course, yeah, they're gonna want you to take a certification, and then you're gonna have to use CEUs and CECs and continuing. That's why I let mine expire. I have the information. They're the certification bodies. It's just I don't want to say it's a scam, but it's a business. You know, they want you to sign up for the certification and then here, give us money and go to these events and spend thousands of dollars every year to go to these events and earn these little points so you can keep it active. Look, if you're training in a gym, I see how you would need that. But once you've had the certifications and you have the experience, like in my personal position, those things, it's really just a gamut. It's a business. And when information is ubiquitous and it's all online and you can put in your own research, it's a matter of being able to sift through the bullshit, have the experience to know what's good, what's bad, have the communicative skills in order to pass that along to other people, whether you're a trainer, whether you do podcasts like myself, and other types of content. It's about delivering the right information and not biasing yourself towards any kind of ideology like veganism or CrossFit. You know, there's different things for different people, and you have to address that. Most people plant their flag. I like to call it, sticking your dick in the banana pudding and saying, this is the way things are done. This is the best way to train. This is the best way to eat. Everyone loves to be right. Everyone loves to have an ideology. Everyone loves to have a country that they belong to. Like, this is the flag that I'm going to fucking fly, right? But that's not really how fitness and nutrition works, because we're always learning things and we certainly don't know everything. So when someone claims to know something or know everything or be like, this is the way to do it, that's right away a little bit sketchy for me. I look at that, I'm like, you're trying to convert people to your little cult that don't know any better, but you're not fooling old Papa Swole. That's usually how I feel about it. Okay, so let's see. Next question on the Facebook. Robert Fetters, what advice would you give someone wanting to make a career switch into the fitness industry? Go shadow a trainer. Go shadow someone. You can do any kind of certification course. You can do any type of certification. Do one that's accredited if you're going to do that. But if you want to make a career switch, it's a business and it's a hard fucking work. And there are a lot of trainers, just like there's a lot of makeup artists and a lot of hairdressers. You're an independent business. So you need to make sure that you have even more important than just knowing how to train people and how to help people. You need to know how to market yourself. You need to know how to produce content for social media and how to get your name out there and how to sustain a business, because you're just an individual one-person business. And you have to think about what you want to do if you want to train in a gym. But it's always good, no matter what you're doing in terms of education, that you're shadowing someone that you respect, that's knowledgeable, that has experience. Because one thing that you can't learn in a certification, one thing that you can't learn by going online and doing all the research is experience. You can't get experience without having experience. So if you can shadow someone and learn from someone who's been in the industry, they can help you I don't want to say cut corners, not in a bad way, but they can help you avoid some of the pitfalls that you're going to otherwise find out by doing it yourself. So you can save yourself a lot of issues or problems by helping someone out and shadowing them and learning from someone in the industry who's been doing it for years successfully. Hopefully you follow someone successful. You want to always follow someone and emulate, shadow, intern with someone that has more information than you, that you can learn from, that you can help develop. You know, you can help them, they can help you, of course, and it's a partnership essentially. But you're giving your time for free, and a lot of people don't want to invest their time for free. But that's what I did to learn what I know now about online and marketing and social media. And it's literally, I learned from scratch, and I started from scratch, and thousands of fucking hours of effort and work and late nights. And it's a lot of time and effort. Most people don't want to do that. They want the quick fix. And that's where you get a lot of people that kind of aren't good. They don't know what they're really talking about because they're not truly passionate about what they do. And they think it's like, oh, I'm going to be in the gym working out. I'm going to go help people train. It's a lot more than that. You have to be really passionate about it and know that it's not like an easy industry at all. At all. Follow up to my course question. How do you know you're not going down a bullshit rabbit hole when reading books and looking for knowledge? What do you mean? A bullshit rabbit hole? How do you ever know if you're in a bullshit rabbit hole? Follow reputable people. Follow people that know what they're talking about. You know, you're not going to be following. There aren't a lot of people that. What's good about social media and what's good about marketing, what's good about Amazon, what's good about book reviews, what's good about the internet is you can find both sides to arguments. Now you have to go through and see which ones are biased, which ones are improperly delivered in terms of content. You have the ability to see the transparency. Think about this. You know, let's say like 30 years ago when someone said that they were, all right, how about this? The movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, the true story. He would just say, yeah, I'm an airline pilot and this, and he would act like it and people just believed it. Of course, he had to scam certain things and people believed it. Now you can Google, you can find out if people are full of shit. You can find out if people are saying that guy's a fucking scam. I did this, that, and the other. You look at reviews. That's what you do on Amazon. When you buy something, the first thing you do is look at reviews. If it has 1 3-star review, you're probably not going to buy that product. If it has 6,000 4.5-star reviews, and that's the average, you trust other people. That's why word of mouth is so popular. So when it comes to those rabbit holes, I mean, there are so many niches for everything. You can go down a nutrition rabbit hole. You can go down a protein rabbit hole, quote unquote, but it's not really a rabbit hole. It's just information. It depends on what kind of information you're looking for. If you're looking at like foofy metaphysical crystals and, you know, alternate galaxies and universes, that's what I call a rabbit hole. But looking at nutrition from a nutrition standpoint, there's just a lot of information. You have to logically and conscientiously sift through the bullshit and sift through the stuff that's obviously biased. So when you have people like vegans, for example, I'm just using this as an example because you have people that are really religious about it. When they're saying, save all the animals, it's cruel and this, that obviously is attached to an ideology. That's not about health. That's about saving things for whatever reason, whatever people believe in that. Okay, that's not necessarily the same. That's biased towards their opinion about life. That's biased towards their opinion about what should happen. We're not talking about optimal health. We're not talking about evolution here. We're talking about an ideology, and they're welcome to it. However, I wouldn't trust that source as this is why it's healthy. When someone starts spewing that shit, it's like, you know, everything else comes with a grain of salt. Yeah, self-teaching for sure. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Thomas Bartosek. What about frozen green vegetables? Apparently they are more nutritious than fresh ones? ? Are they apparently, or are you asking me that? I don't know. Frozen green vegetables. Some vegetables I would get might have to be frozen. I mean, as long as you're getting organic, get high quality vegetables, some are frozen. That might be true. Sometimes if they're frozen right away, it might retain some of the nutrients. It's usually about how you cook them. If you're burning the shit out of your vegetables, you're cooking off a lot of nutrients. If you eat them raw, you're losing some that might be activated by a lot of times steaming or lightly cooking your vegetables will help you digest them and get the nutrients better and absorb better. So that's usually more important. As long as you're getting organic, high quality vegetables, you can probably consume them frozen. I wouldn't nitpick it that much, you know. Is there a difference between a Romanian deadlift and a straight leg deadlift? Yes, I usually use them interchangeably, and probably I shouldn't do that, but I only do Romanians. I wouldn't have anyone do anything with a straight leg, just because if it's a literal straight leg, then most people don't have the mobility or the range of motion. RDL is really what you need. I would just focus on that. Diana Johnson, my husband had a hernia above his belly button, fixed a few years ago. I just signed up for your program and we're going to do it together. Do you have any advice for him getting into it and not hurting himself again? Yeah, not doing anything that would risk that. You know, I mean, it's like anything else. You have to practice your yoga, make sure you work within your capacity. Don't push it too hard if you're just getting into it. Listen to your body and adjust as needed. Just listen to your body. Make sure you're not overdoing it. Make sure you're working on that core stability and practicing your yoga. That's always beneficial. I missed the chance to take advantage of your January deals. Why? I was literally talking about it for a month. Any chance of that happening again soon? Possibly. Episode 1000 is coming up. I would stay plugged in and make sure you're signed up and follow me everywhere for any kind of special offers. You can message me on Facebook. You have the Daily Swole Club on Facebook Messenger. It's a private VIP list. You can send me a message. You can join the Gain Train blog where you get updated with the latest workouts. So usually people that are in the community, if there are specials or things running, you will know about it. You'll hear about it through the grapevine. You'll get little special offers and emails and things like that. So I don't necessarily do them all the time, but usually when there's some kind of like landmark event like episode 1000, like the new year, I like to give people an extra opportunity to join up. But it's always a good time to join Swolenormous X, and it's always affordable, to be honest. It's much more affordable and much more value than anything you're going to find online in terms of anyone's programs, and it's always improving. So people spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on standalone programs that may or may not work optimally for them, whereas Swolenormous X is a fraction of that price, and you're always getting updates as well as it's fully customizable to your specific needs, and it provides all aspects of health and nutrition and training. So we're always adding new stuff. There's a bunch of new things coming this week, particularly for members. And everything we talk about in the Daily Swole, always updating it, always growing it. So that's what I wanted to create, is nothing standalone. I want it to be fully customizable for your needs. So I would just stay plugged into the community and keep your eyes open for the next one. And don't wait next time. Don't wait. Some of the benefits to collagen: repair, recovery, connective tissue. It's fantastic. You can get it from bone broth. You can get supplements. You can get powders and stuff that specifically are collagen based, but bone broth is my favorite source of it. We all know, most of us, that grains are bad for us. This is from Thomas again. That's the fact because of gluten, blah, blah. There have been a flu. Gluten-free grains. What's the question? What do you think about that? I don't consume it. So I don't consume grains. I don't think anything about it. I don't feel the need for grains or any kind of grains or gluten-free grains. I just don't consume them. What about nuts? You can have nuts. I personally don't consume a lot of them. So, if you want your almonds or this, that, and the other. But yeah, I mean, see how they work for you. I just never felt that much of a benefit from consuming nuts. Never really liked them too much. Never really felt amazing benefits. If anything, I felt kind of like sluggish after eating them. What's your input on supplements, pre-workouts? Most of it's shit. Can you achieve big muscle growth without any of them? Abso-fucking-lutely, of course. Brandon, any chance you could have some sort of diet plan like foods you use for benefits? What do you mean? When you're making the transition from bad to good food, it's hard to come up with ideas. It's actually relatively, absolutely 1000% fucking easy to come up. Guys, everyone, you do realize you have an amazing thing called Google on your phone, and you can literally type in any fucking thing you want. If you want a recipe, just type it in. Type in the foods you want a recipe for, and you'll get a billion results. You got to stop being so fucking lazy and helpless. Research this shit. Literally, it's not hard to come up with food ideas. You literally type it into your phone. It might take 7 seconds and you'll get 1,000 responses. So I do have a diet. Diet plans are not the answer. I put all my personal recipes in Swolenormous X. I talk about the foods I eat here on the podcast. I talk about it all the time. It's about eliminating the shit foods. Everyone is going to be subtly different in terms of the quantity, the volume. It's going to be potentially certain foods that might bother some people that they might avoid. Some people like to do more wild fish than grass-fed beef. They don't digest it as well as they would expect to. Okay, so then they do more of that. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. You have to be willing to put in the time to determine what is best for you. And just asking, hey, do you have any kind of diet plan? That's not the fucking answer. That's the lazy, easy way out. I know it seems like, whoa, I don't understand. How come he doesn't just give me the food? How come he doesn't tell me what to eat? I do every day. I tell you, it's 100% grass-fed beef that I consume. If I have eggs, it's pastured eggs. If I eat chicken, it's going to be the healthiest, highest quality, antibiotic, free range, all that shit, organic that I can possibly get. If it's going to be bacon, it's going to be heritage pork. It's going to be all this top of the line, top quality stuff, wild game, whatever I can get. If it's going to be any kind of carbohydrates, it's high fibrous foods, it's vegetables, it's sweet potatoes. I eat a lot of healthy fats, coconut oil, MCT oil, grass-fed butter, a lot of bone broth. That's literally what I consume. That's literally what I consume. And literally what I say, I know that sounds, oh my God, I don't get it. How do you eat all those foods? It's very simple. You cook the food, you fucking put it in your mouth. Stop complicating things. Stop complicating things. There is not a diet plan that anyone should be giving anyone unless it's an elimination process. If someone is just giving you a diet plan, they're charging you something and they're just giving you something that may or may not work. It's like throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. Okay? That's the lazy way out. And most trainers, pretty much every single one that's giving people diet plans, are full of shit. And it's reckless. It's reckless to give people diet plans because then people follow it blindly and could actually be causing more damage than health. And especially when you have these, if it fits your macro plans, which is a load of fucking crap, it's not approaching your fitness and your health the right way. So an elimination is number one. If you have questions about the elimination diet, I have articles on the Gain Train blog where I've talked about it. I have many, many episodes of the podcast that have elimination in the title that you can go and check out. I have nutrition trainings on this, so you can message me about those if you're not a member. If you are a member of Swolenormous X, you have access to the Nutrition Jumpstart and all these different aspects of that approach. But it's very, very simple. If you need recipes, if that's like your thing, oh, I need a recipe for this, you type in the foods that you want the recipe with in Google and I'll spit out 1 billion responses. That's it. That's it. If you know what foods you're eating, type them into Google and Google will give you 1 billion fucking answers. Stop being lazy. Use your thumbs. It's not that hard. You have to be willing to ask questions and you have to be willing to fucking do a search. That's a simple fix. Simple fix. Brittany, I just have one. How long does it take the elasticity in skin to tighten back up? I don't know. Maybe never. A lot of times if you have stretched out skin, it stays that way because your skin lengthened and stretched and was torn apart trying to grow around excessive body weight gain, whether it's muscle or pregnancy or just body fat gain. So it may tighten back up a little bit. It may not. You may have to get surgery if you want it to completely tighten. That's usually a medical professional's assessment because that's a general question. Sometimes it can tighten up a little bit, but oftentimes if you have excessive weight loss and yet excessive weight, overweight, that doesn't go away if easily. Anyone else can comment on that too, but usually you're going to have extra. That's why most people have to get those surgeries to snip off the remaining flab from big time weight loss, for example. Anyone know what time he's coming on? Haha, I'm live right now, motherfucker. All right, let's take some live questions. Let's take some questions for those of you that are watching live that you've dropped some things down. And look, a lot of these answers, I'm not being a dick. I'm not being a dick. I have some fun with the Q&As. Look, you're asking me a question. I have the ability to answer it any way I want. But at the same time, there's always that lack of initiative. And I know you want the information from me because you trust me as a source, but there's a reason why when you listen to the podcast and you listen to it, that's why it's important to listen as often as you can, because I'm always talking about these themes. I'm always talking about the nutrition. I literally this month, I've done probably 10 episodes on nutrition, talking about elimination, talking about that process, talking about what foods to cut out, talking about what foods I eat. I mean, this is a regular thing. Go on my Instagram profile, on my highlights, and click on nutrition. You'll see meals that I make. You'll see me going through the supermarket, talking about things that are good, that are bad. I'm putting out tons and tons of content, so I'm not expecting you to know everything that I do. However, it would be optimal for you to put in the work and go through some of my stuff. And that's just respectful too, rather than just coming in and asking a simple general answer, a general question. There's 1,000 episodes almost, right? In a couple of days, there've been 1,000, and there's tons of stuff that I put out there already. Just go check it out. Go check it out. Go on my Instagram highlights, those little circles at the top. I have a lot of things on nutrition, got a lot of podcast episodes. Scroll back a couple days and you can see them. And the more you educate yourself, the more that you learn, the more that you listen to the podcast, the more that you absorb this content. A lot of it is it's puzzle pieces. What's great about these episodes, especially the Q&A, is that you will get answers to questions that you didn't know to ask. And as you listen and as you develop and as you learn, it's accumulation of knowledge. That's all that life is. You're accumulating knowledge. So the knowledge I have today is different than the knowledge I had when I was 25, and is different than the knowledge I had when I was 15, and likewise for you. So the more you learn and the more you expose yourself and the more that you dig in, we just have so much access to information, and a lot of people are just really fucking lazy and not looking for it. Instead of asking a general question, get specific, get really specific, get nitty gritty. And if you're asking a general question, it's because you haven't put in the work to accumulate that basic knowledge to get a detailed question in. Just an opinion, just a thought. And I'll answer it, but if it's a general question and it's really open, it's going to get a general answer. So I'm always encouraging you to get as detailed and specific as possible when you ask questions. My hip was injured at some point, pops with pain while leg lifts and core workout. What can I do to help my hip? Well, I have no idea, Aaron, what the heck is going on with your hip. So I would say yoga, maybe some kinds of myofascial release. I don't know what's going on, so I don't want to tell you something that's going to injure you worse. My hamstrings stay tight constantly. What would you advise to improve mobility and flexibility? Glute activation work and yoga. Dominic, white rice and potatoes for bulking. Are higher carbs good for bulking? Higher carbs aren't good for health for anything, really. You don't want high carbs in your food intake. More and more research coming out just links carbohydrates more and more and more towards degenerative brain disease as you get older, Alzheimer's, diabetes. Even if you're not consuming tons and tons of like simple sugars, just tons of carbohydrates, your body is really efficient with fats. You should be more fat adapted, in my opinion. So if you're going to have rice, white rice, but I wouldn't overdo it. I like sweet potatoes, but I don't overdo the carbs. I don't overdo the carbs anymore. And if that's a sacrifice to getting as big as possible, then I'll sacrifice getting as big as possible. But you still need a caloric surplus when you're gaining weight, no matter what. So if you're trying to bulk, you need a caloric surplus. You don't need a gram per pound of body weight for protein or anything like that. But you need a lot of healthy fats, and you need quality carbohydrates and a lot of fiber too. Is there such a thing as too much stretching? Sure. I'm sure there is. Could I safely do yoga twice a day if I wanted? Yeah, you could. I would recommend that you don't do 2 power yoga classes, though. So if you did yoga twice a day, if one was an quote intense yoga class, then you do the next one a yin, or you do shorter volume. It's like any kind of exercise. Just because it's called yoga doesn't mean that it's restorative, in the sense that it could be very taxing. It could be a fucking workout. So you don't want to do like a Bikram super fucking hot yoga twice a day unless you're extremely, extremely, extremely advanced and you're, doing that all the time, and you're not doing it every day. Maybe twice in one day is possible, but I mean, that's extremely high level, output. You don't really want to overdo it. Cardio before or after weight training? I would say after, if you're going to do it. You don't need as much cardio as you think. You need more nutrition and stress management and proper weight training. Don't beat yourself up with cardio. And don't do cardio at the expense of not doing yoga. If you're not doing yoga, save the time doing cardio and focus on practicing yoga. Because if you have time constraints and you're spending your time doing cardio instead of practicing yoga, you're missing out on what would actually help you a lot more. Waiting on Papa Swolio's SFG certification. Well, you know, I'm not knocking certifications. I'm not knocking knowledge. That's been in the background. It's been a concept for a while. So in the future, it's possible. It's possible. Gluten-free grains still have lectins, which are the real culprit. Well, that's one of the things with, especially this Western, breads and things like that. You get rid of gluten, but then you still have WGA, you still have wheat germ agglutinin, you still have lectins. It's one thing to say avoid gluten, but it's not just gluten. Gluten gets this overarching like, oh, it's only gluten. That's just part of it. A lot of these other things that are not good for you, that are components of grains, get overlooked, and people say, well, it doesn't have gluten. Yeah, but it has all these other things that aren't good for you too. So that's very good, Holly. Let's see. Viagra before or after workout. Oh God, if you're going to take that for a workout, probably before, if you don't fucking die while you're training. What's Papa Swole do outside of fitness for fun? I don't know. Sleep, take a poop, have a cigar on the porch, and have a glass of whiskey once a year. I don't know. I mean, I love what I do. I love what I do. And because what I do takes so much time, this is pretty much all I do. I spend time with people I care about. I do other things. But here's the interesting thing. I don't consider everything. I don't consider anything I do outside of fitness. Fitness is my life, and health is my life, and my life is my life. So I don't separate what I do with what I love doing. So this is work, quote unquote, but I love doing this. And that's why it's important to do what you love in your life. So this is effort. And to a lot of you, it probably seems like, oh, he's working hard. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I don't feel like I'm working hard. I might get stiff or, okay, oh my God. And I go do something else, but I'm putting my effort where I want to put my effort. So this is my passion. This is my brand. This is my company. This is my life. All of it's integrated. So I don't separate them. And if you do separate them, then you need to pull back and you need to do something else and you need to unwind. I don't have to unwind in the sense like that because I love what I do. So I'm enjoying myself right now. So this is kind of like my free time, it feels like, which is great. And I wish that for everyone, but that's how I don't separate one or the other. I just do what I want to do. And if I want to work more, I work more. If I want to work less, I work less. But it's usually not the latter. I usually just keep on doing it. Consistency is everything. So it helps me doing the Daily Swole, right? Doing it every day, doing it for 1,000 episodes, doing all this, answering your questions. When we do Q&A, it helps me really figure out also what you all are interested in, what we want to talk about more, or maybe some topics coming up for the Swole, or things that might be missing in the industry that I can focus on more that will help more people. So the Q&A is great. I get to answer your questions best that I can, and also it gives me a pulse on or a feel for what you all want to talk about, what you all want in terms of content too. Are yoga and stretching different? Yeah, 1,000% different. I mean, yoga, you're lengthening, but the practice of yoga is much different. It's not stretching. It's yoga. So yeah, it's different. Start. Trying to bulk for the first time ever for strength and size. Struggling getting calories. I burn about 4,000 calories a day. Any tips? Yeah. How do you know how many you burn? Don't tell me you're using a fucking watch or some of those bullshit, using like a calculation. Those things aren't accurate, man. I mean, if you're struggling getting calories, you're not. You're just not eating enough. If you're not gaining, you're not eating enough. I love when so many people say, well, I tried everything. I couldn't gain. I couldn't do this. You're not eating enough. You're either, maybe you have crazy gut inflammation. You're not absorbing the nutrients, or you're literally not eating enough. If you're burning about 4,000 calories a day and that's actually accurate, then guess what? You need to eat 4,500 or 5,000 of quality food. That's why it's really hard. That's why it's really hard to do, because try eating that. That's why bodybuilders or people that try to bulk eat 6 or 7 meals a day, because you're not intermittent fasting. You're not going to intermittent fast and eat 4,500 fucking calories a day. Think about that. It's ridiculous. So in order to put on that kind of size, you have to eat a ton of fucking food. That's why these pros in bulking season, That's why this quote, everyone calls it bro science. No, it's 5 or 6 or 7 small meals because you're not eating 5,000 calories of quality food in one shot. That's why eating is the workout. Eating is its own fucking thing. And it's not healthy to bulk. It's not healthy to get huge. It's not what your body wants to do. You're forcing your body to carry more weight. You're forcing your body to have an excess surplus of food, which is not evolutionarily natural for the body. That's why we're so prone to storing fat, because our body wants to store as much as it can, because on the rare occasion we get a lot of food, it wants to keep it as much as possible so we can survive when there isn't food, when there's scarcity. So being without food, things like fasting, whether it's a day, whether it's intermittently, that's more natural. But if you're trying to bulk, it's not really a thing to do, is intermittent fasting, because it limits how many hours in the day you can consume quality calories. And if you're going to do a dirty bulk, you're risking your health, and you're also risking a lot of body fat gain. Doesn't going to low carb lower testosterone? Yes. As far as I'm aware. How about raw dairy? If you're getting 100% grass-fed, high-quality raw dairy, full-fat dairy, you might not have issues. Some people still have issues. Some people don't. But most people don't have access to quality dairy like that. Can lunges help me to squat properly? I'm not sure what that means. And lunges aren't good. No, I mean, I would not do, if you can't squat properly, you shouldn't be doing lunges, because if you don't squat properly, that means you don't have proper ankle or hip mobility. So you're actually putting yourself at more risk when you do lunges, because that kind of single leg activation, hip flexion, hip extension, you don't have the stability in the hips. You don't have the mobility in the hips. So when you put even more pressure on the hips by flexing one and extending the other, you're going to put strain on your knee. You're going to put strain on your lower back. You're going to hit your hamstrings more or quads more. So you need to practice more yoga. I don't like squat shoes. I think they're cheating. I think squat shoes are cheating in the sense that when you're wearing shoes, you're restricting your feet and you're losing connection with what your body should be doing. If you're wearing squat shoes, it elevates your heels and it gives you more of a platform, maybe contact with the ground. But if you're not competing, why are you doing that, right? You're just kind of allowing your body to have bad posture. And when I put my body under tension, I want things to lengthen and to be the way they should. If you can't squat low enough with bare feet, for example, and your butt starts to wink and starts to tuck, it's because you're not mobile enough. So yeah, that could risk your lower back. So limit your range of motion, work on mobility, and build a proper range of motion. You can use squat shoes all day long, but it's going to tighten up your calves, it's going to tighten up your hips. Who cares if you could squat 300 pounds? I'd rather you squat 150 with perfect form, with free, and then progress from there, because that's really what you should be doing. Don't skirt the issue. Don't go around it. It's like having shoulder pain when you do flat bench. And rather than fix your shoulders and do corrective exercise for your shoulders, you say, you know what? My shoulder hurts when I do flat, but it feels good when I do incline. So I'm just going to do incline instead. And people fucking do that. They avoid doing flat bench and they go to incline bench instead because it doesn't hurt their shoulders, instead of solving the fucking problem, right? A lot of people do that. A lot of you do that. Which products have you replaced with an all-natural option? I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What products for what? Let's see. Have you read Weston A? No, I have not. I squat barefooted, kind of gross, don't care. It feels fantastic. I use my Vibrams. That's why I wear my slippers, and people don't like them. They wear those ballerina shoes. I don't give a fuck. They're awesome. I just put on a brand new pair today because I'm washing some other ones. So yeah, I love them. I love them. I love feeling barefoot. I love being barefoot at home. I love feeling the response with the ground, with the earth. And it gives you, look, if you're taking ibuprofen when you have pain, your body is exposed. Your body is exposing itself to injury and pain, and you're covering up the symptoms. You got to fix the problem. If you have knee pain, if you're squatting and you have knee pain, there's an issue. Your body is telling you the glutes are not activating. You don't have the mobility. You don't have the ankle mobility, whatever the problem is. It's up to you to figure that out. The knee pain is your body telling you something is not going well, X, Y, and Z. Here's where you feel the pain. That's not necessarily where the pain is coming from. You have to be a little Sherlock Holmes and have the interest to fix it. If you have knee pain, that's not normal when you squat. If you have knee pain when you do a lunge, that's not normal. So either your form is off, your balance is off, your posture is off, something is off. Something's going wrong. If you have shoulder pain, something is wrong. Your body is saying something's fucked up. This is not right. Something is rubbing, something is imbalanced. And people will just adjust and do a different exercise where they don't feel pain. They don't solve the problem. And eventually they need surgery because they just fucking grind away at their shoulder joint. You have to be interested in what is causing the problem. You have to fucking care. I think it comes down to absolutely just basically fucking giving a shit. What exercises can fix shoulder pain during the flat bench? Anything that works the posterior rotator cuff. You could do floor cobras. You could do prone press, external rotations, shoulder corrective exercises. Stop doing so many front raises. Stop doing shoulder presses. Stop doing benching, front raise. Everyone's doing just anterior deltoid, these fucking mirror muscles. That's the problem. You need to make your shoulder training. This is what I've done for probably for 15 fucking years. Every shoulder workout is focused on the rear deltoid and the middle deltoid. Those are the two areas that I focus on the most. Sometimes I'll throw in some front raise. Sometimes I'll do some Arnold presses light. I don't do heavy overhead pressing. No need to do to fucking crush overhead pressing. No need for that. If you want to have a longevous career, if you're just trying to increase your strength in all aspects, what's your goal? Is your goal to get as big as possible? Is your goal to get as strong as possible? Is your goal to be pain-free? If that's your goal, then you're going to do things that will keep you more pain-free. Baking versus boiling sweet potatoes. Either. I mean, I like baking better. Personally. I mean, in terms of health, you might lose some nutrients in the water if you're boiling. It's like baking. He prefers the way they taste baked. You know what I like. You know what I like. You know it. I can't afford them till I get my job, so I'm hoping being barefoot when I'm at home is good enough. It absolutely is good enough. You don't need Vibrams to fucking train barefoot. That's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about Vibrams. That's the beautiful thing about being barefoot. It's the same concept. It's even better to be barefoot. That's the way you really want to do it, is to be completely, but you don't even want to wear Vivo barefoots or Vibrams. It's better to be completely barefoot. Now, if you have sensitive feet, you're not going to be able to go running on fucking gravel, for example, barefoot. That might hurt, and you don't necessarily want to go in like a dirty gym and go barefoot. That's why I wear these, because I can literally walk anywhere and I'm not literally stepping in gasoline and fucking spit and shit like that. Instagram is probably going to cut out in a minute. We're going to be finishing up here shortly. So in about a minute 45, I'm going to have to restart Instagram. Those of you that are watching on Instagram. I injured my shoulder last August doing Spartan race, but it still hasn't healed. Got an MRI, but no tear. Ortho said might have inflammation. Not sure what to do. Stick with lightweight. Corrective exercise. Things like dead hangs are usually very effective. Corrective exercise, fixing your shoulder girdle, working on your middle and lower trapezius, your rhomboids, your posterior rotator cuff, infraspinatus, teres minor, proper alignment with your shoulder, your upper body posture. These are the things that yoga really helps with, rather than going over a list of all these different individual exercises. Yoga is very good at activating certain muscles and inhibiting other ones. Yeah. Google knows, or you look, everyone. Hey, more plug. That's one of the benefits of Swolenormous X. We have all these exercises as part of the community. This is what we do inside Swolenormous X. So those of you that are in here, got tons of stuff that are always being uploaded, new corrective exercises. This is one of the beautiful things about the Daily Swole. Those of you that are Swolenormous X members, that this whole mindset, this whole approach, you'll find it online. You'll find it on Google, but it's fragmented. You have to go search for it and then pick that up. And like, do I trust this source? And you look somewhere else. Oh, do I trust that? And you're piecing things together. I'm not reinventing the wheel, but I'm reinventing the approach and how online training and how fitness should be approached in general. You got to take these different pieces that people have been doing in parts for years, but it's fundamentally being approached the wrong way. So I'm here to flip it and make it the way it should be again. Instagram's got to get restarted. We'll start that again. Continued. All right. A cheap pair of water shoes are good? I don't know. I don't know about those. I guess you could, but they're not really as mobile or flexible. The rubber it's not designed for it. You could slip around a little bit. Whatever works for you. I don't care. If you do that, that's fine. That's cool. You could do that too. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad everyone enjoys. You're liking the Q&A. So remember, I'll try to get a new Gain Train blog up today. I want to do a new workout. Tonight might be a late night. I wanted to get a DWG up for tomorrow as well. I want to go get a workout in, but it's just like the day is going long, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it all. I'm going to try to do it all. So make sure you're subscribed to the Gain Train blog. All that, you can find out all the details. Subscribe to the podcast, all the latest, swolenormousx.com. And make sure you're plugged into everything. Make sure you plug into everything this week. You're staying in tune with the podcast. You're checking out. I do want to do some cool specials for those of you that might have missed the January tip-off. I don't know how, because it was on for 3 weeks, but episode 1000 is here. It's coming. And I want to say thank you. So the best way to thank all of you is to hook you all up. So make sure you're staying plugged in all week. It's going to be a fun week. And for those of you that are in Swolenormous X, that you're members, we're going to have our live accountability meeting tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time in the private Facebook group. So I'll be posting that event. So make sure that you turn on your notifications for that tomorrow. And, that's it. That's it. We'll fucking make sick fucking gains every fucking day like we always have, and we always will. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 996 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. Thank you for joining me. 996. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 997 of the Daily Sleaze. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swole. Out. Peace out.